This is part of an ongoing project, so it may not make a lot of sense, and I'm okay with that. This section is called Imprint. I first started membering 5 years ago when I got approached during a sales survey call. I was trying so hard not to sound annoyed that my vocal pacing must have felt particularly metered. As I turned a corner and finally shook off the salesperson with a clipped goodbye, I felt a pat on my shoulder. Randall was smarmy in the way that doesn't know any better, that can't be offensive because it is just so oblivious. His suits were always a bit too shiny, and the thread counts were always at least 50 down from where they should be. He wore a gold hoop nose ring, a thing that should not even exist. He didn't score his cheap new shoes, and so they slid a bit when he struts. Just like really tiny water skiing. Actually, my first job for the Companion was a ski weekend. Randall said he chose me not only for my voice, but for how consistent my gait was. It would translate well on the rendering screen, he said. But first of all, he said, "Hello there, I'm Randall Kerr with the Companion. Do you have a minute?" I didn't really, but, well, we'd all heard about the comp and to be interested, but not really enough to get it. "Sure, Andrea, do you have a card?" He pulled out a laminated business card. No one laminates their business cards. This is the type of thing that Randall thought was innovative while everyone else just laughed behind their hands. I gave him my card, which at the time listed me as a junior associate copywriter for a temp placement agency that isn't there anymore. No one temps anymore. Randall smiled his slimy smile and left grease on my hand after shaking it. I heard Chris's voice in my head and looked around to make sure there were other people milling about. But I still went with Randall anyway. 17 hours later, I was in front of the rendering screen wearing a ski suit made of something like cashmere. I had never been skiing, but I bent my knees like the people you see in air freshener commercials and held the pointy sticks at an angle. "Not like that," said Randall, "you're not spearfishing. Relax your arms. 5 minutes." I reviewed the script in my head. I was supposed to ski, or at least make ski-type motions, and then fall so the patron could feel like he was helping me up. Apparently he had some long loss that he had met the same way. I was less concerned about believability and more concerned about screwing myself in the pole. The wall-wide computer powered up and the lights around the set dimmed, and here I am 5 years later, strolling through the airport, off to Ander, now one of the company's best girls. I've membered enough scenarios that I get to mostly just do live appearances now, or the high-end specialty stuff. Every ordinary guy wants a digital ski weekend or a virtual walk on the beach, so once you remember one, then you can just reuse the experience when a guy selects it. So, you know, as long as I'm believable the first time, I rarely have to repeat an experience. But then there's my Chris. He hates the membering, and I mean, I can barely bring myself to touch anything anymore. I love how easy it is to cook, to read, to drive, to do life this far away. To feel so connected while being still in my own space. I think the airport kiosk screens are my favorite yet, so sanitary and private, and yet you're in this big place of comings and goings, moving people all around. It reminds me of how we used to crowd like sardines into bar bathrooms, the single occupancy ones, with a line outside the door, except now, of course, it's even less private. I forget sometimes how my body works. It sounds so messy in retrospect. How did we ever fit all those pieces? Like parts from different engines trying to run together. How could I let anyone's skin touch me like that? Too close, it seems now. Like wearing other people on the inside. Chris calls while I'm in the kiosk. Often he just knows. He's out of breath, he's been rushing. And? Yes. Okay then, when does your flight leave? 20 minutes till boarding. How's the baby? She's just now waking up, my plug tells me. Her sensors are clean, she won't be crying. Shouldn't be, rather. The plugs don't account for that special baby thing that flashes bright red upset for no reason. She's wiggling, Chris says. I can hear her, the one where she puts her hands up. I'll watch on the plane, but I have to go. The gate's bar and the moving walkways are scummy. He knows I'm excusing, but that's okay. That's knowing someone. Really, it's that I'm afraid of anything moving worries me. Elevators, escalators, even cars, planes sometimes. But these last ones are necessary until we find a way around them. The news runs on my rims, entertaining me while I walk. Distracting, really, so it's nice to be on a tracker. The rails on either side of the walking canal clearly haven't been sanitized recently, but at least my travel sheaths are thick. I'm glad I brought the long commuters. I don't even know why I have the thinner ones at home. The flight plan is running smoothly, feed tells me, although it'll be another 2 hours or so before the final times are in. It always depends on how many pickups the plane will have along the way. But without knowing, I won't be able to sleep. No capital girl likes to be caught asleep. When the plane lands, there are always cameras, but nothing to help it. When we step off the plane, a row of officers are waiting for us. They clap. Nina smiles at me, raises her hand in the old Miss America wave. They cheer. It is so hot in this place. Our particular escort stepped forward. I recognize Mike. He ordered a dinner date a few years back. I had to imprint personally that time. He wanted some weird stuff. We don't go too far, the Capital Girls, but some of our patrons can get away with a certain amount of crazy aroma sensors. This guy liked butter, I remembered. Melted and dripping off lobster, artichokes, and inexplicably ham. Chris hadn't liked that job. Remember me, the escort officer grins? Of course. I turn it on, look around. Men everywhere, and only 5 of us girls. We'll have to mix carefully, make sure no one gets too close. I have to tell you, I play that date over all the time. Later on the plane, I try to sleep again, lift in and out of the waves. I plug into the console, close my eyes for a minute, and open them to the dark feeling of our bedroom and Chris's hot, measured breathing. It's a membrane, so he probably won't feel me, but sometimes it seems like he does. I know I'll be there in person in a few hours, but it's not enough to forget the griminess of the butter guy's stare. If I didn't hate touching so much now,